Chapter 21, Europe to America. It's Monday on September 20, 1971, and I'm waking up to a new day at a youth hostel in Thessalonica, Greece. Many young, beautiful females populate this place, but I've got to keep moving. I plan on hitching a ride out of here to Yugoslavia, then on to Zurich, Switzerland. Marshall and I are still teamed up as co-travelers, although he will soon be heading in a different direction. But I'm not in too much of a hurry. The social situation is a real groove. It feels almost normal again, with so many chicks to lay my eyes on. I love checking out the girls. I adore the sacred feminine spirit. The unique, pure art of a woman's build is always something to behold. I've been starved of feminine sights for so long that it behooves me to take my time gazing at all the pretty girls. It's a beautiful morning. Monday, so good to me. Monday morning, it was all I hoped it would be. I walk the streets. The West is really here. This is a fantastic city with a distinct Mediterranean flavor. This is actually the Aegean Sea, but it's really just an arm of the Mediterranean. I love this place. A song by the Rascals echoes in my brain as I sing along. It's a beautiful morning. Each bird keeps singing his own song so long. I've got to be on my way now. I'm in a groove heading for home, and I just love this life I lead. I'm inspired with potential and possibility. I'm dancing in the streets. Many of the people break out in laughter and snicker as they pass by me. I'm wearing my Moroccan jalaba, and it causes quite a stir wherever I go. I'm a freak to the local populace. I love it. Back at the hostel room, I gather my stuff in preparation to leave. I hoist my backpack on, and I'm ready to roll. "Hey, Woodstock," says Marshall, "let's go to the train station and purchase tickets to Zagreb." "You know, Marshall, I'm thinking it's best for me to save some money by hitching my way. It will take longer, but I'll get where I go when I need to." "You sure, man? It's a long haul." "I'll be all right." "So be it, my brother. Good luck to you," says Marshall. We shake hands and bear hug. Then I depart the hostel with plans to hitchhike. I walk past the train station, out on the streets. I stop for a few seconds to reconsider, then keep on walking. I saunter by a blood bank and decide on the spot to give a pint of blood for a fee. I get $13.33 to put a little extra cash in my pocket. Then it's off to the roads. My money situation is tight, but I will make it. Finally, out to the main highway. I stick my thumb out to hitchhike, but there are no takers. After 3 hours of thumbing it, my arm, that is sore. I am low on energy from giving blood. I decide to head back into town and toward the train station. I would love to stay in Greece a bit to see many of the great cities and ancient wonders, especially the Acropolis in Athens. Alas, it's not to be. Thessaloniki is a great place to hang out, but I'm in too much of a hurry to get it across Europe and back home. At the train station, I spot Marshall in the line ahead of me to purchase a ticket. "Hey, Marshall, it's Woodstock," I shout. Marshall looks back in the line and sees me waving. He motions for me to join him in line. We purchase tickets to Zagreb. We stow our gear, then take our seats on the train. "What happened to your hitchhiking plans, Woodstock?" "It didn't work out. Nobody would stop for me," I answer. "Well, I'm glad to have you back as a traveling companion," says Marshall. "Yeah, man, it's cool I caught up with you." "Are you prepared to abandon all this freedom for the dictates of society? A regular job, a wife and kids, and white picket fence, settling down?" "I'm not ready to give that much up just yet," I say, "but I can see it sure is weighing on your mind." "Oh, yeah. I'm still in the mode of trying to grasp what this wandering adventure has done for me and to me. So I'm not ready to give much deep thought about what my future years will be when I get back home." "Well, brother, we can't be carefree hippies forever. Time's moving too fast. At least it is for me," explains Marshall. I dread, almost fear, giving up all my freedom to join the establishment. But I sure am glad I did this last adventure. You don't seem too happy to be going home. Oh, yeah, my brother, you've hit the nail on the head. At least I'm not over in Vietnam getting shot at in order to kill. There were a lot worse things to be depressed about than my upper middle class privileged life. I've been blessed. I know that. My parents have been pretty cool about letting me grow up at my own pace. I know what you mean about Nam. I feel bad for the poor souls ordered over there to end up dead over a senseless war. America is a powder keg, man. I've escaped thinking about all of that for a year now. The train rolls down the tracks. We're heading northwest into the heart of Europe. The trip covers over 1,000 kilometers, or clicks, as I like to refer to them, to Zagreb. I'm glad I'm on the train and not hitchhiking. So, Woodstock, where are you flying out of? What country to get back to America? I'm thinking of flying home from Zagreb. I'm heading back across Europe to Amsterdam. My airline ticket is from Air Icelandic. Oh, so you have more traveling west to do to get across Central Europe, heading north. Yes, so I will be hitching to cover most of the distance, I imagine. Well, good luck to you, Woodstock. It's train and plane for me, here on out. We arrive in Zagreb with a couple hours remaining before sunset. Marshall and I get off the train and go for a walk about town. Zagreb is a real European city with much culture and class, abundant parks, squares, museums. We stop to eat a pizza, then look for some cheap overnight accommodations. Everything is filled or too expensive. We trudge on wearily into the late night time hours. Marshall and I take notice of a lot of fine-looking women about town, but we're really just looking for a place to lay our weary heads to get some rest. Finally, we locate a Red Cross mission in town that offers a cheap bed for the night. I wake up to a loud female voice. Get up, everybody get up right now, she bellows. Marshall and I hoist on our backpacks and head out into the streets of Zagreb. We stop at a small cafe at the roadside and have a coffee. Well, Woodstock, I guess this is it for us for good this time. It's been great traveling with you, Marshall. Let's stay in contact when we get back home. You got it, brother. We shake hands for a final goodbye. Marshall heads back to the train station, and I start hitching. I walk an hour until I get my first short ride of 7 clicks, then the next ride for 11 clicks. At the rate it's going to be a long, arduous journey. My next ride gets me 14 more clicks down the road. Then I'm alone out in the country for several hours walking alongside the road. I finally catch a ride in the late afternoon that covers 45 clicks, my best jaunt of the day. It took me 4 rides and 77 clicks to get just outside the town of Varazdin. I am sleeping outdoors under the stars in a field. I light a candle and set it on a cement slab. I sit down next to the shimmering light to write in my journal. It's time to tuck away the memories of another wandering day. Tomorrow I will cross the border into Austria. What a good life. I sense an energetic universal connection with my spirit, my soul. I'm plugged in, charged up. I'm eternally wired, empowered to let my spiritual nature soar. I've learned this much about myself while wandering this wide world. It is morning. I wake up in my sleeping bag, laying in the field. I'm engulfed in a thick layer of fog. I walk in the farming fields, staying within earshot of the roads, but keeping my distance. The dense, cloudy blanket creates an eerie feeling to the surroundings. The fog eventually starts breaking up as I enter the town of Varazdin. I stop at a cafe for some tea and bread, then I hop on a local bus to the Austrian border. The Yugoslav border guards eye me up and down as some raging freak, I'm sure, but they pass me through. As I walk across to the Germanic frontier of the Austrian border guards, they bring out a German shepherd to sniff me and my backpack. I'm a sitting duck. Think fast. What to do? I rub the dog behind his ears. He loves it, singing out in pleasure. I become fast friends with the dog. The guard jerks the dog collar with his chain, and the dog lets me pass without a sniff of trouble. I get through customs with my private stash of hash securely stowed away. I start hitching as I walk a few miles from the border. Then I secure a ride to Graz, the first real city in Austria. The driver drops me off at the local hostel. I register for a couple of nights. It feels good to have a hot shower, nice bed, and warm sheets. The name of this hostel is the Junge Hurbe. I think it means youth hostel. I love it here in Austria. The endless choice of great foods is incredible. However, it's another rainy, overcast day. The prospects of hitching are too much of a hassle in this weather. I extend my stay a couple more days. The fall weather is here to stay, with 1 week to go in September. I have given up on hitchhiking. I need to cover some distance. So it's on to the train station where I purchase a ticket to Zurich, Switzerland. They will get me there with some 700 clicks west. Then I can make my way north from Zurich. My train leaves tomorrow night. I'm sitting at the counter in a restaurant in Graz. This is my last meal before heading to the train station. A small television sits on a shelf in an alcove above the cash register. It's been a year since I really watched anything on TV. I'm fixated on the show. A magazine of the air focuses on many interesting things happening around the world. My waitress serves me a Wiener Schnitzel, and I enjoy my food while watching the show. I have a German fellow to the left of me and an English guy on my right. They're both eating a meal and watching the television too. Then the show flashes to a segment in Kabul, Afghanistan. Over 5,000 traveling hippies from America and Europe are here in Kabul. I almost fall out of my chair and start choking on my food. I'm startled with excitement. The scene on the TV changes to a hotel, much like the Hindu Kush I stayed at. Many people are having a good time, passing around joints, drinking, dancing to rock music, and having a ball. I was just there, I holler and jump up from my seat. This is exactly what it's like there for the hippie travelers. Then a pan of the party scene of revelers in Kabul reveals my buddy Larry Glazer. He's wearing the hat I bought him in Kandahar. I know that guy. I know that guy, I shout, jumping up and down like a pogo stick. That's my friend Larry. We went to Woodstock together in '69. I just ran into him a few weeks ago in Kandahar. Wow, what a small world. The Kabul segment of the program ends. I've been shouting with excitement to no one in particular. Everyone in the place is fixated on me. The guys at the counter sitting nearby congratulate me. Then many of the patrons in the restaurant start clapping. I bow and wave. My excitable spur of the moment energy has electrified the place. The waitress says my meal is on the house. I'm suddenly an instant celebrity. What a grand personal moment for me. I really feel like I'm coming full circle now. Seeing Larry on TV is a jolt to my senses. I'm really heading home. I'm in the final stages of wandering. Soon my travels will end. The trail is getting shorter day by day. It's early evening as I board a train in Graz, Austria, heading west to Zurich, Switzerland. The trip covers about 720 clicks. I sleep in my seat all the way there. We arrive in Zurich at sunrise. I locate the local youth hostel and pay for a night. The strict rules are curfew and lights out at 10 p.m. What a crazy, ridiculous juvenile rule for adults. I'd better get done what I need done right away. I've been carrying my return airline ticket from Air Icelandic all through my wandering journey. It's a wonder I didn't lose it. I keep it stowed away in my Moroccan shoulder bag. I want my money back now since the ticket is valid for only 1 year from the date of purchase. I hail a cab to the airline's office in the city to see about getting a refund on my airline ticket. I get the runaround passed on from clerk to clerk. It turns into a big hassle that uses up much of the day. But I'm determined. Finally, I received my full refund of $118. What a relief. I need this money to get home. Hopefully, I'll get a cheaper airline ticket when I get to Amsterdam. I spend the rest of the day in Zurich walking about town and enjoying the cafes. I make it back to my dorm room just before curfew. In the morning, I head back to the streets. I'm hitching to Basel, Switzerland. It's more than 80 clicks due northwest. The first ride I only cover 15 clicks. The next ride gets me 27 clicks down the road. It takes a while to thumb the next ride as I walk and walk. Then a cool cat in a souped-up red GTO hot rod picks me up and drives the rest of the way to Basel. He drops me off in town at a rockin' cafe with booming rock music spun to by an in-house DJ. Great times, much fun. I find myself in a group of hippie dudes and chicks passing joint after joint. I turn them all on to my hashish. Instant camaraderie and high times abound. At the end of the evening, I get an invite to stay at a local guy's home. Sure, the party continues ever on. I have an intense talk with a guy from Cincinnati, but I can't recall what we speak of. I'm stone silly, just flying high. The sounds of Led Zeppelin are just baking into my mind. Wow, unrivaled energy, impressive. What a heavy trip. Communication breakdown. High times. Indeed, I zone out on the couch. Music still blaring and the all-nighters partying on. Not me. I'm done. Next morning, I wake up in a stupor. Good times, but a bit too much. The Europeans mix tobacco with their hashish, and it makes me nauseous. I can still feel the after effects. Moving around slowly, I hoist my backpack over my shoulder and quietly walk out the door. Everyone in the house is still sleeping. These are really good people with great hospitality. It's amazing how often in my wandering journey over the last year that I've met so many people who display such warm friendship and great hospitality to a stranger. Despite all the constant strife across the planet, the world is filled with much love. Good people are everywhere in every culture. I've lived it with my own experience again and again. In fact, I've seen God everywhere, in all lands, especially in the eyes of all the people around the globe. I've come into contact with them. God shines through the eyes of his blessed creation. I sense it, see it, feel it, know it. Namaste. Back on the road, I hitchhiked for a couple of hours with no luck at flagging down a ride. Then a hip cat, an English DJ who works at a discotheque in Switzerland, pulls over for me. Hop in, mate. My name is Ronnie. Hello, I'm Woodstock, or Steve. Thanks for the ride. Ronnie blasts the radio and we cross the border into Germany. Soon we are on the Autobahn, racing north. This is the perfect ride I need. Sit back, relax, enjoy. We cover over 400 clicks, then Ronnie's car breaks down, overheating radiator. We chug slowly into town before the car totally conks out. We end up spending the night in Flammersfeld, Germany, a tiny town just north of Frankfurt. Ronnie gets his car fixed in the morning, and we're back on the road heading west to Antwerp, Belgium. It's not quite 300 clicks. I'm having a good time riding with Ronnie. He's all music and no talk. Kick out the jams. Ronnie has saved me a lot of time and money. Hitching is really fun when you land a ride like this. What a good trip. The world is my nut to crack. We arrive in Antwerp in the late afternoon. Ronnie drops me off near the train station. I decide to hop a train and go right to Amsterdam. I've been to the following countries on my wandering journey: USA, Iceland, Luxembourg, Belgium, Netherlands, England, France, Andorra, Spain, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Italy, Sicily, Israel, Cyprus, Lebanon, Syria, Balearic Islands, Turkey, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Greece, Yugoslavia, Austria, Switzerland, Germany. I'm staying at the Kabul Hotel, same as before in Amsterdam. This place is a wonderful student hangout. It feels great to return to this vibrant city of sin and hedonistic good times. Today is October 2, 1971. Exactly 1 year ago today, I started my wandering journey. It seems I've grown a decade in 1 year. My adventure has accelerated the growth of my mind and soul. I am a world citizen. The good earth is my home. My first order of the day is to purchase a ticket home. I found out about a student charter, so I head out to a travel agent to see if I can get a deal to New York City. I'm qualified for a student charter ticket for $105. Last available seat, lucky me. My flight leaves in 48 hours. Back at the hotel, I meet up with some far-out musicians and stay up all night partying down. The guitar player, Bob from Boston, is real good. I play my flute to the jams. My hash is a big hit with everyone. I'm off to sleep at sunrise. I'm visiting the Modern Arts Museum. I take a pleasing tour through the grand building. I find works of art inspiring to see. Afterwards, I wander to the canals and walk by the Anne Frank house. I have to go in. I'm compelled to face this crazy, haunting Holocaust that inadvertently led Leo to pitch himself down to the rocks and river below to his death in the high Himalayas. The evil of Hitler's Germany is palpable. After leaving the Frank house, I'm still mystified by the menace that caused so many innocents to die. Witnessing Leo take his life was a jolt to my senses. That memory will never fade. Back out on the streets, my mind is swimming with all the possibilities of my life. Soon I will be back home, and I will need to take direct action. Time is priceless, and we are not guaranteed anything when it comes to time. Time runs out on people. I'm in a race against time to get as many varied experiences as I can in one lifetime. There's so much to do and be, and not enough time to live it all. I locate a secluded spot by a canal. I take a seat and proceed to meditate. I still my mind, concentrating on my breath. In, out, in, out, home, home. I am at peace, attuned to the natural order of things in the universe. I am a world citizen. The good earth is my home. Today is my last day in a foreign country. My flight departs at 2 p.m. for New York City. I've stayed clear of the bawdy scenes and the exhibitionist ladies of the night. I've been on good behavior considering I'm in Amsterdam. Plus, I'm worn down from the long travels and nearly broke. It's been fun enough hanging with the young, hip crowds back at the Kabul Hotel. I take a tram to the airport. Soon I'm high in the sky flying home. The view out my window is a sea of clouds with a flash of red colored from the sun. The beautiful panorama of red-orange reflects off the sea of clouds for several hours. We are chasing after the sun on the Atlantic Ocean horizon. Then the full moon appears behind us while the sun is still setting in the west. The plane lands at JFK Airport in New York City. I make my way back to Manhattan to a Greyhound bus depot near Madison Square Garden. I purchase a ticket for Detroit, Michigan, my beloved Motown. My bus departs on a route via Cleveland to Detroit. I travel the late night route and sleep most of the way home. I get off the bus in Detroit and hop on a local bus that takes me toward my home in Oak Park. The guy sitting next to me has a transistor radio. I hear a new song for the first time by John Lennon and his Plastic Ono Band. Imagine. I am swept up in instant reverie, hearing the great words of this song. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. I immediately loved this song upon hearing. It captures so much that's been going on in my head while I've traveled. Imagine no possessions, I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. The song is timeless. John Lennon has struck a cultural chord that will ring on forever. John is right. He's not the only dreamer. I'm a dreamer too. There are many of us around the globe and across the ages who dream of a similar utopia of man. In my wandering, I've grown to know God because I saw God in the people and in nature. Everywhere I went, I was fascinated by the multitude of places of worship to God. Churches, mosques, temples, synagogues. I may have had doubts before my journey, but the evidence of God has been reaffirmed by my wandering travels. It is through God's grace that human beings have been allowed to live on this earth. And when one considers the ignorance and stupidity and the power struggles of the human race, we are blessed to survive despite ourselves. The bus drops me off a mile from my home. I walk the last mile just as I've always planned. I am the wanderer, and my journey is complete. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.